Anyone
can be underrated.
as fuck.
You are now tuning into the latest episode of the Underrated as Fuck podcast.
Hosted by the one and only Bliss.
And you already know, Mighty Zay.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Underrated AF podcast.
Let's go.
Yo, this is episode 30. This is the first time we've gotten to a 30th episode. I don't even remember how far we got on the first season. What was it, like 14?
It was like 15, I think, yeah.
Maybe 15 episodes?
13, 15, 14.
Yeah, we're on episode 30.
That's pretty hard.
We actually did some math earlier, and by the end of the year, we should be at about 45 episodes. That's pretty crazy. I think there's only isn't there like 52
weeks
in a year? So pretty damn close. Not bad. So 52, is that the desired number, or does it matter?
Always.
Hey, if we get pretty close to 50, that's pretty good.
I was like, if we're in the ballpark of like 40 to like 50, I think that's like A.
When's the last time we didn't do a pod for like a weekend? I feel like
honestly don't remember.
I feel like it was one of your fights or something that we just decided to just pass over.
Just take it chill?
I think, didn't we or no?
I don't think so.
I think we did skip a week, but I don't remember.
It's been a
what
while
it was.
though. Yeah. Regardless, that's still pretty dope.
So as far as being consistent, every week, every Monday at 10 a.m., I think we've done a pretty decent job. What do you think?
Moving with full momentum.
Motion. Yo, I don't know why, but every now and then you always tell me that. You say motion. I don't know. You just say that. I don't know what context you're talking about, but you just...
Because you'll be like, oh, I didn't do a lot, but at least I did this. And I'll be like, motion. For me, it doesn't matter how big or the task at hand, as long as you even just chip at it, even just a little bit.
Motion. Progress. Any bit of progress is good.
Any
progress,
bit of
right?
movement towards that goal is like significant for me, at least. Because I just think that's really.
So
cool.
what if it's just like if you had to take 100 steps? What if it's just one step? Is that pretty significant, or
that's progress?
What do you think?
That's better progress than what you decided to do instead of laying down or not doing that. You could have been just chilling, or we could have just been chilling, decided not to make these episodes. Mm-hmm. But now we get to look back on what we did, a whole track record of what we did. That's pretty cool. So any motion is just
Hey, speaking of some motion, if I didn't start writing this album I'm currently working on,
right?
What was it, months ago?
Yeah. I
wouldn't be wherever I'm at right now. So
final stages.
So let's just say there is 100 steps in this album, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be on step. Maybe I'm halfway through at this point.
You're at
step 50.
So if there's 1,000 steps, you're at 852.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. When you think about that, when you look back in hindsight with 20/20 vision, like you always say, remember, hindsight is a mother.
Hindsight's a motherfucker.
It's if you have been staying true and kind of even doing one step, like you just said, not looking at that, even doing one step is a big deal.
I think about doing a task kind of like paying off debt. It's funny to say, but it's just it is. At the end of the day, I'm just chipping away at whatever I'm trying to get rid of. So right. I'm trying to get to my goal. I'm trying to get rid of the task at hand to get rid of me being able to just.
It's like mental debt.
Yeah.
So a goal is kind of another word for debt in a type of way, right? In order to get to the goal.
Debt shouldn't be bad. I don't think debt should be bad. It's a bad word.
Borrowing money is bad in general.
It sucks.
But I think a goal is another word for a debt, kind of. When you're serious about that goal, it is a debt because you want to handle it and get it done.
At the end of the day, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
A debt to yourself.
Something like that. Are you borrowing from yourself? Are you your own bank?
I think you have to borrow from your mental self. That's what discipline is, right? Too.
Yeah.
You're borrowing from your current happiness in order to be happy later. Right?
Are you borrowing or are you just sacrificing?
It's the same thing.
Oh.
It's just, you're borrowing or AKA sacrificing from your current happiness.
Yeah. It just bloop.
In order to have something better later.
Isn't that cool though? Like just to look forward to doing something.
Yeah,
That's the reason why I'm always like trying to get shit done because
it
it's
gets
just
it
looking
gets a
forward
little.
to something.
It gets depressing, and if
Yeah,
you haven't been there before, it gets really like I don't have a purpose in life. Like if you've never dealt with
Yeah.
a low like
You gotta
that, where you're
battle.
not, where you're like barely about to take the first step or two into something. If you've-
Nobody likes those.
If
First
you've
couple
never
steps.
been there before,
Yeah.
it could be.
It can be frightening, scary.
That's why, like with kids sometimes, or like the younger people, like in their teens,
Yeah.
I feel for them sometimes, because an issue for them or something that they're going through in life,
That's a
they've never
life-altering-
dealt with it
yeah.
before, so they don't. First of all, they got to figure out how to deal with it.
Right.
Second of all, how do they know whatever they're doing is gonna deal with it because they've never gone through that before.
Right.
So it's stressful. Like we were talking about anxiety. Remember, it can be it could be an anxious world you live in.
I think it's just depending on like your fundamentals on how you're taught to like discipline yourself on like organization, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't
I
know.
still think there's still that
I don't know.
you're always gonna get some sort of anxiety or some sort of like paranoia when you're trying to deal with something you've never dealt with before,
Yeah.
and especially when it's
Those
a problem.
Those nerves.
When it's a problem,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
you gotta move out. You know what I mean? Hey, you're about to be
Gotta
18,
go.
son. This is it. Like, I don't know. That could be like,
You're
oh,
like,
my
what do you
parents
mean?
are kicking me
Yeah.
out. I don't know. You know what I mean? But,
That's crazy.
so yeah, I'm gonna dig into that a little bit later.
Yeah, a little bit.
But before we get into anything else, let's jump right into some music. Okay, so yes, cheese, queso. This is gonna be this music topic is gonna be a little touchy for me because I'm a big fan. Okay, so Logic Ultra 85. Did you hear it?
Yes.
Okay. Do I talk about this first, or does Zay talk about this first?
Well, you're the front runner, so I'll give them my spiel and then your spiel.
Okay, this
So-
is. Oh, I got you. Go. You go.
So at the end of the day, I like Logic, but I don't think that he's like super incredibly undeniably dope. I think he is still
He
dope.
wouldn't be in your top 3. Like that's. Like he's in my top 3.
He
wouldn't
probably would be in like my top 20.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's still good though, right? But with this album, I kind of feel like in the first half there was a lot of recycled vibes, and then when it reached that second half of the album, it kind of felt like it started to pick up for me, but it still felt a little slow, and I was expecting a little different. But I think the voiceovers are kind of what threw me.
The voiceovers. Are you talking about like the storyline of the guys talking?
Yeah, that's a famous voice actor, right?
Yeah, I forgot their names.
Steve?
I forgot their names, but
Steve
yeah.
Blum.
So explain to me, because I'm trying to understand. What do you mean specifically about recycled music?
It just
what
kind
does
of
that
felt
mean?
like I wasn't being introduced to something new. What's that word that I'm looking for?
Like it wasn't relevant.
No, something
or-
new that's like, wow, like what am I looking for? What's that word?
Is
I'm
it
sure
kind of
that-
like when somebody innovates? and
Innovation.
it's
It's not. I didn't get no like innovative like creativeness in this one. It kind of just felt like he was kind of trying to pick up where he left off from before, and I think I was expecting maybe a little something different, but it was still good though. So me personally, I would have to rate the album maybe a 6.
That's fair. And then, so what gave it the 6 though? Because I think a 6 is still
6.5.
kind of good.
6.5.
So a 6.5 is still
Yeah.
kind of good. I would say. I don't know what your rating scale is, but
Hopefully,
So
I
what-
think a couple of the songs have playback value, but I just don't think the entire album has like an entire like, oh, I want to kill that album again. Like, you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. So do you want to hear my spiel?
Let's get it.
Okay, so Mighty gave it a 6.5. Good album. A couple songs with some replayability, but for the most part, wasn't really all hitting. Right?
Right.
Okay, so here we go. You ready? I'm a big Logic fan. Logic fits in my top 3. It moves around here and there. Like right now, I think Vince Staples is kind of my favorite. Anyway,
Yeah.
Ultra 85 is a sequel album to The Incredible True Story. I've been waiting for this album forever.
Right.
This has always been one of those albums where it's like, oh, he's working on it. Ultra 85, one of these days. Anyway, it's been a long time coming. This an album that's been built up for like I don't know, 10 years, 8 years, like whatever. I don't know off the top of my head when Incredible True Story came out. I'm expecting something. You know what I'm saying? The Incredible True Story, all arguments aside, could be potentially one of his best albums ever. As far as like
I feel that.
replayability on the songs. Dude, just
It was a vibe.
aesthetic.
It was a vibe.
He was doing concerts in like a astronaut jumpsuit. Like
Yeah,
it was
cool.
just like
It was cool.
this was like one of top tier Logic,
The theme.
right? Ultra 85 did not live up to The Incredible True Story, and this is where I'm at with it. I can't give it a rating. I don't know how to feel about it still, but I'm a little bit disappointed. And what I was thinking about the other day was, so Ultra 85, go back one more album, College Park,
Right.
go back one more album, Vinyl Days. These last 3 albums that Logic released, it feels like thrown together a little bit.
So do you feel like that he just kind of had extra stuff that he just was just giving to the fans instead of like actually wanting to release an entire?
I genuinely think he
Project?
was trying to put together projects and they just
Just
kind of all collaged together. There's diamonds in the rough here.
Right.
Like
right,
there
right.
there is a like
There's a couple songs.
Vinyl Days had like 20 songs plus maybe I think. And
Oh, that one was the one with a lot. Yeah.
there was like 3 or 4 or 5 songs that super dope.
Right.
Dope. But as far as the entire album, I don't care about that album. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's okay, I picked out the songs I like. Now let's wait for the next album.
Right.
Same thing with College Park. 3 songs, 4 songs maybe that I really, really vibe with. Can't listen to anything else. Like, I don't know what it is, but right now, Logic, and I
kinda
love
like-
Logic. If he sees this, I want him to know I love his music. He's my number 1. He's still up there, number 1. Number 2, number 3 maybe, right? But I just feel like he's hitting a little bit of like, a little rough patch of like 3 albums in a row weren't really hitting for me. I don't know if you call me a fan after that. I don't know what, but I'm critical.
Wait, so what album was the one that he released right after he got out of the contract?
So I think, what's the one with the 3 and it's like a zombie hand?
Tarantino?
Bobby Tarantino 3.
Yeah.
I think that was the last one on his album. I think. Either that one or was the Under Pressure one.
No, it was the Bobby Tarantino.
Was it?
Yeah, because I remember you was doing like a big deal about it.
Maybe. So
Yeah.
wait, why are you asking though? Was that like really good for you?
Oh,
Like,
no, like I'm just saying, like, what if he was only doing good because he had the guidance of
like an album or
Of
a label?
of a label. So now that he's without the label and he's completely by himself, he thought that he had the full view of what's going on, and so now he don't.
Maybe it has to do.
no.
I mean, he's got a point there. Maybe it's a little bit to do with the fact that he's independent now. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
could have
know.
just added like another layer of whatever he's got to do again, and he didn't prepare for. So now music is just different for him now, rather than
Right.
just.
Well, to sum
what I mean?
up my opinion on this,
I don't think it's a horrible album though. So
I'll say this.
It's not a
no, it's
horrible
not horrible.
Yeah.
I would give it like a 6.5.
I would listen to it one more time, like just to see, like, you know what I mean.
I've listened to it 3 times, and I still feel the same way.
Yeah.
Um.
Thanks for sending me the
So
time.
this is everything wrapped up for me right here.
Okay.
I'm very excited for anything Logic has moving forward. He has solidified himself with his discography, all of his old music.
Right.
I'm gonna check it out regardless.
Yeah, I feel
I'm
that.
always gonna be excited to hear anything Logic releases.
Yeah, I feel like he's earned that respect.
I think currently he's on a little bit of a bad run here. Me personally, not feeling this album. Didn't really feel College Park. Didn't really feel Vinyl Days. That's where I'm at. Still one of my top 3 artists.
Still
I
good,
just didn't really hit like I wanted it to. I mean, that's it.
So not a bad album. I would suggest if you are a Logic fan, if you haven't heard it yet, I would suggest at least check it out.
You gotta hear. If you're a Logic fan, you gotta hear.
You
it.
gotta hear it.
I mean, he's gonna go on tour and play these songs. You gotta hear the songs.
Yeah, these aren't, for me at least, like if Logic does come, like it's gonna be like, dang, he's not gonna be playing.
Hey, sometimes they hit better in concert. Sometimes, like,
it's just that whole like live aspect.
yeah, like
Yeah.
a song I could kind of reminisce on real quick.
But the one with the fire that he did.
No, there was a song. It's called Mama, and when I first heard the song, it was okay, but I wasn't like playing it, you know.
Right.
But when I heard that in concert, look at me now, Mama, like, dude, that one hit at the concert, and it totally changed it. And I added that song to a playlist. Like,
I feel
you know
that.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe concert might change my opinion a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I'm not bumping everything on this
Okay,
album.
so 6.5.
I'll agree with
Hopefully-
you, but I'm not gonna give it a rating.
Okay, so hopefully the next album that he releases, if he does release one, because we never know how these artists are nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully he does release something, and he kind of dives back into that. That's just more of like that free flow Logic. That's what I like. I like when Logic feels like more of like he's
Doing
just
himself, singing.
he's just flowing. He's
Yeah.
just flowing rather than trying to force a flow. I don't know. That's what it kind of felt like this album though.
a little bit.
A little
like
bit.
Forced a little
Forced
bit. Yeah.
a little bit.
A lot of pressure making a sequel album to one of his best albums of all
I've
time.
been
so.
under pressure.
Okay,
bad,
so I think it's worth noting real quick. Definitely worth noting. Big Sean didn't end up dropping.
I know.
So he put a video up
Delayed.
saying that he's delaying it, or it might come out in a couple of days. Maybe it's out by the time this episode comes out. I don't know. But as far as Friday goes, that just passed, no Big Sean yet.
Yeah.
So that's on hold until further notice. I wanted to listen to it and talk about it this episode, but it's okay.
That's something we're looking forward to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was looking forward to hearing it.
I'm really looking forward to
Yeah.
Big Sean. He's hard.
But the other thing that I kind of was looking forward a little to hearing, but didn't really enjoy hearing, was that
The next one.
Polo G.
So this one's a music update. This album came out, I believe, last week or the week before, maybe.
I
But
think it's been out a week now. So yeah.
whenever it came out, let's give our little reviews real quick on Polo G. Do
Okay.
you want to hit that real quick?
All right, so it's funny, but it.
It's not a funny album.
No, it's not. It's not a funny. I mean, like shit, man. Like it just feels like I feel like I've heard this album so many times before
I get it.
by
I get
so
it, I get
many different artists, and it just feels so repetitive and kind of. I guess if you're a big Polo G fan, you would. I guess you could maybe like. I don't know. I personally couldn't pull any song that I genuinely really liked, and I really tried.
I mean, yeah, nowadays, whenever we listen to an album, we really try to find something good. Like, I want to talk good about all these albums.
Dude.
So maybe I'm being overly critical nowadays. I don't know.
I doubt that, but I legitimately I was in a good mood. I was happy. I woke up good. I got some good sleep. Next
And
morning,
you called me. Remember, you're like, "What was that album that you wanted me to hear?"
yeah, I was like, I just killed the Logic album. I was like, yo, what was that other one? Polo G. All right, bet, let's get it. Turned it on. I was feeling good. I was like, all right, well, the Logic album didn't really like do it for me. Maybe the Polo G will. So I was like, let's get it. Started listening to it, and I'm like, okay. I got the vibe. I think within like the first like 2 songs. Like I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of these. All right, well, let's get it. And he stays true to his, his hood poet, right? Which is cool. It's just him. Essentially, his upbringing, and then what he's kind of gone through, right?
Yeah, the way he was brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he's just kind of. It's just more of like a rags to riches, another album.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's just like it's cool, but it's just like God, how many? I just wish another artist would come along and then really like change up the game again.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we really need that right now.
I feel like I got a job to do.
Let's get it.
Bliss, where you at?
Where you at?
Okay, so not really feeling Polo G. Is that where you're at right there?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rate that probably like a 4.
Okay, I'm not trying to bash anybody in any of their
I ain't
artistry.
bashing nobody. I'm just
whatever.
trash.
But I got 2 separate perspectives to talk about. So my perspective of the album, I played it. By the time I got to the 4th song, I was like, you know what? Maybe I just have to check this out later because I wasn't feeling it.
I was forcing.
And then I didn't end up checking it out later. So that's where I'm at with that. I didn't really feel it.
So that same vibe, it pretty much carries on throughout the entire album.
So I'm not missing it.
It literally feels like one long ass song.
Sheesh. Okay, let me give you the other perspective.
Okay.
I thought maybe I just have this old man, I'm 30 years old perspective.
Don't
a little
be,
bit, you know
don't
what I
be
mean?
skating on my sidewalk.
A little bit.
Yeah.
So I hit up one of my family members that's younger, just graduated high school, you know, whatever. I wanted to get a younger dude's opinion on music, and this guy knows his music. He does not play around. He just went to the Kid Leroy concert. Before that, he's doing concerts over there in California somewhere. Like this dude loves his music, right? So I asked him what he thought about Polo G, and he sent me a whole paragraph. I was gonna quote it, but my phone's over there. Basically, what he said: Polo G's washed out.
Yeah,
That is basically what he said.
I'm pretty sure at the end of his paragraph, he said, "I think he's done here."
Sheesh. And maybe he's being dramatic about it, but this dude knows Polo G. He was a big fan of Polo G. And
wait, so this is like another funny thing. Is this more legitimacy on the name of Drake?
wait, you're catching me way off guard. Give me some context.
Just simply for the fact of like, let's just say another artist comes along and he's hot, right? He's dope.
Okay.
He's doing his thing. He starts to get the money. He starts to get everything he's wanted.
So like
now,
Lefty Gunplay, right?
So yeah, so
He said, should I get a bank account? You think they're going to take child support? Oh, hell no. I'm not getting a bank account.
he's a hell no.
Okay,
Oh,
so a new
Lord.
artist
It's just
comes into the game.
it's hard for them to really stay on the same path they started on.
I think I get what you're
So you get what I mean? So now that whenever they get everything that they've ever wanted, it's like, how do you still stay hungry? It's kind of like you get the title of the championship and you're the world champion, and then you defend your title and then you lose that fight.
So basically you're saying Drake has been able to not have to be hungry in order to put out good music, which
Right.
in turn makes him one of the greatest of all time.
Right.
So is that what you're putting out?
It's just more of like, I just wish that these new artists that come along, I really wish that they would keep the momentum that they randomly get and they just run with it rather than just hitting a dead wall and then just kind of stopping. I don't know.
So let's
It
talk
sucks.
about what you said the other day. When I asked you a question, it was about something specific, but remember you said it's hard to stay motivated.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that real quick.
Okay.
Why does somebody like Apollo G have to be motivated to make music? Why, like, that's disappointing. Why can't he just consistently make good music?
Okay, so let's just say, like, I can go to work every single day for the rest of my life if I absolutely had to, right? But if I go to work on a regular day, if I just wake up and I go to work and I complete my day and I go home and I do whatever else I had to do, and I'm not really motivated to go to work, I'm not really motivated to do whatever, then everything's going to be kind of like
Mediocre.
mediocre.
Or
It's not
just
really
standard?
Yeah, it's not really like the dopest I can do, but it's not even going to be half-assed. It's going to be like...
You met the mark.
Right. And so that's good enough for me. Boom, I did my 10, I'm out. Like, you know what I mean? Rather than now if I'm going there and I'm not motivated, like, I'm gonna add a little bit of sauce on what I just did. I'm gonna put a little bit more passion behind that. You know what I mean? So I think the only way to really stay motivated is like the perspective you have on how you started. And I think that every single day you have to remind yourself, and you have to like talk affirmations. It's like really.
So what do you think Drake does in order to be successful? Because no matter
Fuck
what,
everybody's bitch. Like,
no matter what this
my
dude puts
God.
out, it's good. I don't know what it is.
he's got the sauce. He
He can put out some crap, and it's still good. I don't know how. Okay, I don't know. Why is this guy always good?
He just knows how to sell.
So is he constantly doing what you're saying about daily affirmations? And you know, what I mean, I feel like the dude is just second nature.
Well, there's only so long that you have to do that until it's just like ingrained into your brain so you don't have to do that every single day.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna have to do 1,000 push-ups every single day to reach the goal that I want.
At some point, you're gonna be maintaining.
Yeah, at some
whatever you
point,
got
at some point,
Okay.
that's not gonna be like a challenge. So you know what I mean. Until then, it's like but
Ah.
I write that down. I was like, waiting for it. No, but
So what do we feel about these artists?
I would just really enjoy for like a young hot artist to come, and then he gets the momentum and he's making bangers, and then he just tries to take over. Like he has that hunger to be like, yo, I want to be the top dog right now.
Isn't that what every artist does? Isn't it about ego? Everybody's trying to be the best.
But that only lasts. That ego is so strong for the initial part of it until they get that money, and then 2-3 albums deep, where are they?
I mean, I don't know. Like, we're just talking from an outside perspective. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm hungry still for this music, and I'm about to make my 5th album. You mean like I don't know. Somebody who I've really like been watching over the past years, and he's very much impressed me, and
Who?
he's still hungry, still putting out bangers. Russ. This dude just got to where he's selling out arenas.
That's pretty cool.
You know that song?
Remember
It's
he
called,
just had all that hate on him too? That was, I don't know, that was kind of weird.
it's because he didn't follow the regular stuff the industry wants you to do. Kind of like everybody hated Logic for a long time.
Well, it's
what I
because
mean?
every single song, I'm half black, I'm half white. Like it was just like, come on.
And also, he didn't care about getting into the beef with anybody. They don't
Yeah,
do that.
yeah.
They don't. They're not like, in a weird way. I feel like I fit into that category. Like, I don't care to jump into some beef with somebody. I don't care to make this song because it's a club banger. Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm doing what I want to do. And I feel like Russ is one of those outsiders that really is making it a big.
Do you feel like pretty motivated right now too in like so since we're on the topic of motivation, do you feel motivated in your lane right now? Like or making your music, finding your beats, making your lyrics?
So like I'm not like here like digging up dirt kind of motivation.
Okay.
I like doing it.
Right.
And I enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I don't know how to differentiate that motivation. Like I don't know how to answer that.
Okay, so let's just say there's something you do want to do and there's something you don't want to do. Regardless, both of those things still need to get done. Do you still have that pep in your step?
I feel like I need to get it done.
Okay,
is
so
that what you mean?
With that being said, with you now being on this side of the fence of needing to get it done, do you still have that pep in your step? Or is it kind of like, all right, let's get it done? Like, you know what I mean?
Like when I'm writing music, sometimes I get emotional. Like
That's a good sign.
because I write about whatever's in my head, right? I
Right.
write all my music, so sometimes like that song Through the Night that's on the upcoming album, like I'll hear that sometimes, and sometimes it'll hit.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
I'll be like, I just want to be here one last time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it just really, really hits deep. And
So does that like rehearing your music the way that you've done the demos? Like now does that like motivate you even more towards that one goal of
yeah,
this
it does.
one thing?
It does
Yeah.
because I feel like I put out good stuff, so therefore it needs to be heard.
Okay, so are you only motivated for this one album, or are you looking at
No,
the whole
like,
grand scheme of things?
I have
and
a
now-
layout for the next album.
Cool,
and
cool.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
I don't
I
know
feel
how
like
to,
that's motivation. Is like whenever you're not just only gonna do what you're supposed to do and be done, you're gonna see what you got to do, what's next, and what can you do to
You know what's
execute
kind of exciting?
those steps.
You know what's kind of exciting? I don't know when, but one day I'm gonna release State of Happiness 3.
Oh, that'd be pretty cool.
And I don't know when it's gonna come out ever. I don't know. But it's exciting to think about
That's your flagship
because to
album.
me, State of Happiness 1, State of Happiness 2, those are a big deal for me because that kind of started my career.
Right,
in a way,
right.
2015, State of Happiness 1, like that was a long time ago. And I'm just gonna make
9 years ago.
in order for me to make State of Happiness 3, it's got to be so
Like feeling the moment. Like,
every song has to be just so cool, so badass. Like
yeah.
it's gonna be a moment whenever I do release this album, but
That's pretty cool to think about.
that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah.
For State of Happiness 3, I don't know if that's 3 albums from now, 4, 5. I don't know.
Could be next week.
That's 100% no. But that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, for that.
So I don't know how to answer your question about being super motivated because I don't get home from work like, oh, I gotta knock this out. Like, no, I'm not like dogging over my album, but I enjoy doing it. I'm always working on it.
Well, that's
I
the
don't know.
question. Do you find enough motivation in what you're doing right now, the hard work, into feeling like happy that you've accomplished the hard work that you're setting yourself out to do?
I mean, I'm not satisfied. I won't be satisfied until I'm dead, probably. You know, the work is never done, kind of thing. But I'm definitely
Kobe.
appreciative to be able to work on it. You know what I mean? I like it. I like finding the dope beats that make me feel a type of way, and then being able to write to them and just turning it into something awesome.
Okay, so now let me ask you on the other side of the fence again. What do you do on the days where you have no motivation to do this? Where you don't want to come in and make music, to where you don't want to come in and work on your music, to where you don't want to come in and you just kind of want to sit down and just chill.
Well, that's where some discipline comes in, because that's when I'll set a date. Like Monday tomorrow, I'm not going to speak on that right here, but Monday tomorrow, something's happening with the music tomorrow. That's a date.
Right. Oh,
that's
I get
a
what
deadline.
You mean. I get you.
Whether I want to do anything tomorrow or not doesn't matter.
That's a good.
There's something tomorrow that's going to get done that's very significant on this upcoming album.
I think that's what people could take away from this motivation talk right here. So let's just say on the days where you don't feel motivated and you don't feel that extra push or that enthusiasm to really get it done, what you can do is take a day off. I know that's funny to say, but it's more of like, let me reach that on a day to where I could set aside everything and actually plan for that day where I'm tackling everything to my fullest ability. So
I like that too.
If you don't have the motivation, if you don't have the drive, and if you don't have the go killer instinct to go just get it done, I think you should sit back. Don't leave that area yet until you leave with a date that you want to come back to. That be tomorrow. That be the day following, the day after that.
That's pretty motivating.
I think that's kind of cool.
Like if I put it to that, let's just say, for example, like on Tuesday, I'm gonna go to Best Buy and buy these headphones.
Yeah.
It just makes it that much cooler.
It's kind of good. Yeah.
It's like, yo, Tuesday is coming.
And then now when you wake up on that Tuesday, you're kind of gaslighting yourself in a positive way to kind of being like, boom, let's get this done.
I think that's why it's important to have
organization.
Set a schedule when things are gonna happen. I think that's why it's important.
That's something I really need to get on, is more of like a calendar work in a way.
What do you mean? So like, what's something you can set on a schedule to where you would be like, hell yeah, time to hit chest today? I don't know.
Okay, so let's just say Wednesday, every 2 days on the weekday. So my Monday, my Wednesday, my Friday. Let's say those 3 days, I'm gonna be running my 10 miles. Right.
So are those days you're looking forward to, or
so those are days I'm gonna be looking forward to, because regardless, I still have to get that work done. And me not wanting to do it when doing it is gonna suck. And
planning it out.
So planning
it's
it out
happen regardless.
It just mentally prepares me better. Right.
So whether you feel like doing it or not, Monday you're running 10 miles.
I've set it aside, so I have to do that.
And then not only that, are you saying like when you end up doing it, then it's gonna be like
it's gonna be easier. Yeah. It's gonna be easier. So I set this aside, and I was gonna be like, look, I'm gonna do this day. So now, let's say I'm 3 days away from that day. I have this coming up and I'm looking at it, so I'm always having constant reminders. So now with me having those reminders, I think I'm going to be like better mentally prepared to handle that situation rather than just being dropped in and being like, well, do your best. I'm good at those too.
It really is a big deal to have a visual reminder.
Yeah.
Because I have a budget book that I just kind of started to write down all my transactions, everything. I took it to Applebee's. It's just cool to talk about, but I took it to Applebee's the other day. And literally, when I was done and they gave me the bill, I got the receipt, wrote down the expenses, how much it was. And seeing that, me writing it and seeing it in this book.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
Bruh, I know where my money's going.
Oh, the one you just got?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
I've always been pretty decent with my money, but recently it's time to crack down.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
Because I got to invest in this podcast. I got to invest in an album coming up. I got to deal with my personal life. So my money needs to be purposeful. Like,
Right.
I can't just be having
a good word,
$100 disappear and it like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, but for real, writing this stuff down, I know where my stuff's going.
With
like,
that
for
being
real.
said, like you have that book. The only thing that I have that I've seen that I'll write my basics on my daily activities or whatever, but I'll kind of add like a little message on. I have a big whiteboard in my room, and
You use it?
yeah. So the thing about it is, I'll leave something up there for about 2-3 days, and I'll give it. That's the longest I'll give it. Right. So if I look at it, cool. I'll look at it, cool. Unless it's like a date that's like far away and I still kind of want to keep it, then I'll put it at a different area.
Like a reminder?
Yeah. It's like, hey, reminder, this is gonna come up. So be mindful for this, because I always forget. I always forget everything. So it's like, just now. With that being said, having the whiteboard has really helped with getting me mentally prepared. So whenever that day comes, the motivation will automatically present itself for me just to get it done. Because it's like I've been seeing it. I'm getting ready for it.
I need a whiteboard for the podcast. We need to have it right there. That way I'll know I edit. Because I need to really get on with scheduling more like people to come in, and do the pod with us.
Yeah, but we talked about that before. Like, it's hard to find, or it's hard to get a hold of, or be having other people that are what we consider underrated.
Yeah, I got very high standards,
Yeah.
man, and it's really hard to find people that I would consider.
It's hard to find people who care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, everybody acts like they care.
That's what I'm trying to say. Caring isn't an act. Caring is a do.
Yeah, you can
know what
see
I mean?
it. When somebody really cares
You know what I
about
mean?
what they do, you can see it.
And I think that's the biggest thing. It's just like finding people who truly care in their own lane. Like, it's really hard to come by. I feel like that is one of the rarest things nowadays in any profession.
Trying to find somebody that's real, that really loves what they do is not easy. Because a lot of people don't even know why they're doing what they're doing.
Wow, that's
Some people are doing it because it's cool to do.
Right.
Some people are doing it because they were raised to be an electrician, so they're an electrician. You know what I mean?
Or
Like,
a Cowboys fan, like.
there's a lot of Cowboys fans that just are just Cowboys fans.
For no
I got
reason.
flack for the longest time for being a Patriots fan. I don't give a crap, but I love
Go
everything
Eagles.
about the Patriots, and I still do. Yeah,
That new quarterback looking kind of good.
Myrtle
though.
looking good, man.
Ain't no Jalen Hurts, but he good.
So that was a little bit of a
Yeah.
tangent, but it's important. I think a lot of that is important to talk about because, like talking about what motivates you and what it takes to put out quality in your artistry.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Whatever lane that may be.
I mean, if somebody had the answer to that,
Yeah.
which Drake does, but maybe he just doesn't know it. He just does it.
Yeah, he just does it. I don't know.
Like that's like a
Frank
mystery.
Ocean.
It's a mystery. How do you put out quality, genuine quality, real content every album, every song? Like, if everybody knew that, there wouldn't be bad music. There wouldn't be good music. It would just all be
Everything
amazing.
would just be
amazing.
I would like that, to be honest.
Just everything.
There
being
wasn't
amazing.
something too dope. There wasn't something trash. It was just everything was just like, I want to listen to everything. Like, you know what I mean?
That sounds like socialism.
Janitor's making just as much as the principal.
So yeah, I mean,
No, but
if
I
I
think
could
that's
just say something just to
Top
relieve
it off.
people, Bliss love quality. You know what I'm saying? And that's all that you're gonna get from me. If I don't improve, if I don't make quality stuff, the music ain't coming out.
I feel that.
I'm sorry. I'm not gonna put something out just to put something out. It's not gonna happen.
I feel like that would kind of be me too.
Like with what, the fighting
Which
or
is my
just
fighting
you?
stuff.
Like if you're not gonna, if you feel like you can't better yourself,
Yeah, if
put on a good show, then you're
I
just
feel
not
like
gonna do it.
Yeah, I
or-
feel like if I can't put on a good show, and if I feel like I've reached a certain point to where I feel like I genuinely can't learn anymore, which I very much doubt that'll go because I know how I think anyway. That's what keeps motivating me to just still like always wanted to test myself, what I'm able to do, what I'm able to like get done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I can always see improvement for each. That's why I watch my fights 100, 150, 250 times. Like
I'm dead. Like you're all the views.
I'm dead.
If it only worked that way, right?
Oh my god. But yeah, so it's just
So we got two upcoming albums that I wanted to talk about, but one's coming out next week. I'm gonna talk about that next week, and then this other one's coming out like 2 weeks from now. So we'll just save that for later. But I want to dig in real quick and kind of like wrap up this conversation about like, what do you feel about people that are trying to put out good stuff? Like, okay.
I get what you're saying.
Where does, there's two different things, right? There's people that are trying to better themselves, so maybe they'll put out something kind of mediocre, but they're still working on themselves, and then the next one's gonna be better, and the next one's gonna be better, right? So there's those people, and then there's people that just continuously release some mediocre crap. So how can you tell when you're in that side of it where you're bettering yourself, or if you're in the other side of it where you just want to do this but it's always all right?
I honestly think that you need somebody else's perspective to get you out of that perspective that you're in. I think you need help at that point.
So how do you know that? Because you know damn well the people that need help aren't gonna get help.
Exactly. So that's the whole dilemma that we're in. So now, let's just say if you are on the other side of that fence and you're kind of just being like, no, I'm fine. Like, I don't need to learn. Like, I'm just doing what I'm doing. But you're not where you're supposed to be, or you're not at where where you want to be. I think then you need to take a step back and being like, maybe what I'm doing isn't exactly 100% right.
So how do you know if you're being delusional?
So the only way that you would have to be delusional or knowing about it is, I would have to say you have to set requirements, and if you don't reach those requirements, why am I not reaching those requirements?
Give me an example real quick.
So let's just say for music, let's just say, okay, by the end of the year, I want to do a show, and I want to release 6 singles, and I want to have this many people like this, and I want to have this many people hear this, right?
So my argument is you could still meet those requirements, but it doesn't mean it's good. So when is enough? How do you know when to stop, or how do you know when to continue?
Whenever the marketing markets itself, that's how you know it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So when the product itself markets itself, that's how you know it's good. Like a fire doesn't just go and get everybody else's fire.
So how long do you have to be working at something for it to, you know what I'm saying? When's
10
the
years
cutoff?
is an overnight success.
What's the cutoff? Like,
I would have to say,
because we already know people aren't going to be real with themselves.
I don't
and say, hey, I'm not meant to do this, I'm out. Most people aren't going to do that. They're going to continue.
I mean, you can always improve, though. It's just getting a different perspective in life. So let's just say that perspective that you have in life at that moment, that's just not what's going to get you to that top level. Maybe you need to experience more life. Maybe you need to do something else that's going to help you understand that one thing.
More life for your head top.
But I don't really know.
I'm just trying to get to the bottom of like, dude, you shouldn't be doing this. Or, you know what I mean? Or, hey, you got a lot of potential. Keep at it. Like, what? How do you know which guy you are?
Well, how much
you wouldn't know unless somebody tells you, right?
It'd be your effort.
But I don't know if that's true, because there's rappers that put in 10 times the amount of work I do. But I love what I do, and I'll continue to put out quality stuff. So I don't feel like the effort really determines.
I think so.
Quality.
It isn't. Production isn't effort.
What do you mean?
Like, the amount of something isn't your effort. I don't think that the amount of what you can do something is a good measurement for your effort.
Okay.
So let's just say I could do one thing, but if I put max effort in that, out of all the 1,000 things that you've made, my one thing can beat your 1,000 things.
That's cool, but all my 1,000 things are going to be above par. And you're going to have one little...
No, so I'm saying though too, like, imagine now if you put all those 1,000 things, if you put your fully, this is knocked, all right, let's go to the next one, this is knocked, all right, let's go to the next one, this is knocked, compared to like, I want to have 1,000 things and spread my effort across the entire board. You're not going to be able to do that because it's too, I think people bite off more than,
too much work.
I think biting off more than you can chew is a huge thing that people don't know how to like take back from. I think you bite off more than you can chew.
It's a big deal.
And now it's just like, oh, I'm too far in it. Now I have to keep up appearance, and now I have to do this, and now your ego's in the way, and it's just like, you don't got to do all that. I think taking a step back and then seeing for yourself or other people, like the perspective of somebody pulling you out, or are you asking yourself, like how do you know that?
I want to tell the person. Okay, let's talk about this one dude that keeps trying to make music and doesn't improve. How does he know in his delusional world that that's not what he's made to do?
You don't know. You never
That's
know.
why.
Yeah.
Are we able to break that down or no? What's the solution? Does he have to go ask people?
No, because people can't validate.
I'm not gonna listen to nobody.
Yeah, at the end of the day, people can't validate you and your own beliefs. It's like, how hard do you believe in that thing? Like, you believe the sky is blue, right? So no matter what anybody tells you, the sky is blue.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the
so
same
basically,
thing with your philosophies.
What this conversation is coming to is that if you're good, it's gonna show and it's gonna shine. But there is a lot of bullshit in there.
Yeah.
So, which makes it even more special when it's really good, right?
When it's really good, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So there it is. That's it. If you really do love what you're doing and you're really passionate about it, you're gonna be appreciated by the masses.
I mean, even if you aren't appreciated, sometimes it's not your time. Like, I don't think that you need to be appreciated the second you're successful.
Man, I'll be honest with you. If I got famous out of my second album, I wouldn't have been ready for it.
You'd probably be a crackhead right now.
I'd be sniffing coke off of a stripper's butthole, probably. I'm just kidding. No, but that's just a weird analogy of I'm ignorant. I don't know how to run a.
Right,
I didn't know how to run a business. I don't know how to operate a tour.
So now with that perspective, what's his name? We got
An artist, or who are you talking
There was
about?
an artist. Polo G's one though. He's young. He's young, so he's kind of like the same thing. So all these new artists, like, they're young, so they don't have like the life experience that a lot of other people. But sometimes they get forced to have more than experience than anybody else in their lifetime will have.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a lot of first-hand experience, and they're
being young,
they're
you're
failing.
just biting off so much you can chew.
They're failing as they go, and sometimes they're succeeding, but they're experiencing all of it at once.
Damn.
Me and you have the opportunity of hindsight, like we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone through trash situations, good situations.
Do you think we have
You know
the
what I mean?
better ability of hindsight because we have each other to fall back on and like really like
Well, yeah,
disclose?
I can
like, what
give
happened?
you a real perspective that you know is tried and what is it? Tried and true.
Tried and true, yeah.
Because you know I've been through it, just
Right,
like you've
right,
been through it. So
right.
I listen to your advice because you've been through the lows before.
So that would have to be the biggest thing. You would just need the right support.
Surround
You would need
yourself with
like-minded
successful,
individuals.
like-minded people that hopefully are where you want to be. Then you don't have to deal with those trials and tribulations. You can learn from that person, maybe.
Wouldn't that be cool? Like if everybody had at least just one person they could just be boom with. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. Like maybe us having each other has helped me, but I've never had somebody help guide me through this music.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? Or
right.
through this podcast. I just
do it. Yeah.
do it. Like I failed so many times, but
That's cool. I like failing. I'm like, it's weird to say, but I like
I
failing.
still won't
because,
put out a poor quality album though.
Yeah.
Even my early albums where I wasn't that good of a writer or I wasn't that good of a recording engineer
I
or
like
whatever,
just failing.
I still put my soul into that and put it out. But
I know you do. Like, cause I get to see you behind the scenes of how much effort you decide to put into your music or your craft.
I just want it to sound good.
Yeah,
Like,
and it
I
does.
don't want it to come out and sound like.
Wait, so what
what I
is, in your perspective, what wouldn't sound good to you? From something that you put out.
Like when I hear, if I hear some beat that just isn't hitting, like why am I going to use that beat? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I'm not writing very good to a certain beat, why am I going to record that?
So you're saying if you're just forcing yourself to really get this done, if it's all just forced to kind of like complete the puzzle, then it's just like not meant to be?
The list of songs I have for this album wouldn't even be here right now if they didn't pass the test. You know what I'm saying?
You do have your little check marks.
Like if I was starting to write to a beat because it was pretty cool, but
Yeah.
the writing was like not like I can't write to this BPM or something's off with this beat.
Right.
It wouldn't even have made it here. You know what I mean? Like, the only reason this set of songs are making it is because I see potential. You know what I mean? I still got to put them together. You know what I mean? But I know my capabilities. You know what I'm saying? I already know this song or this album's going to come out really good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Is that only because of the amount of effort you put into it?
No, that's because of the love I put into it.
That's effort is love.
I could put 2 hours in. It's like, you know that saying where it's like 99% thought, 1% action, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Yo, I put a lot of thought into things before I even touch anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That is rotating in my brain, like, you know what I mean? Like, I am constantly thinking about it. I'm telling you. 80% of this album has been right here. 20% of it's the physical part, recording, beats, putting the album out.
Delivery.
You know, I'm really hoping. I hope I'm able to lock down a really good set of like interviews with other podcasts, with maybe some sort of journalist that does a magazine or something. I just want to be able to like at least talk about my album.
Yeah, that'd be
that's
cool.
coming out.
Yeah.
You know, just get people to, yo, this is coming out.
Just be
you know,
interested.
something.
They
That's something.
can see more in depth about like the album.
That's
and what
something
it
I
is.
really want to do.
Yeah.
This time, like really talk about it.
Would you want to do that on the podcast, or would you want to do that for like separate videos?
Well, we could do it here. Like there could be an episode where it's just about the album, you know. But no, I would want to do it like with a other podcast.
Yeah, feel
go
that.
out
Yeah.
and talk about me, talk about the album. Like, it'd be pretty cool. Shoot, they'd be getting an experienced podcaster at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, gotta come in and tell you what's happening.
Hell yeah!
I'm dead.
All right, y'all. I mean, hopefully, like y'all can get some gems out of this. Like we have epiphanies as we're talking about stuff. It's just cool. It's good to speak about it.
Yeah, it's good just to get like it out.
It's good to speak about it. I'm learning right now not to bite off more than I could chew.
Yeah,
because I do that a lot.
yeah, you do.
I know I can handle it. That's why. But sometimes it's just focus on one thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
For me, that's what I need to do for me to be successful. I need to focus on one thing, kill that one thing, move to the next thing. Kill that next thing. What's the next thing?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I'm trying to tackle 5 things, 10 things at once.
And I'm excited. We're getting close to an album. I know earlier in the year I was like, yo, coming out in like March. Yeah, change of plans. That album never came true to be. It's one of those things where it didn't live up to the quality.
Yeah.
In the writing, it didn't live up to the quality that I put on my music.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't happen. But, there's motion going on.
That's pretty cool.
Big day tomorrow. I just want to say that because it is a big day.
Elden Ring.
No. There might be some of that. But,
Yeah, go on.
All right, y'all. So this was episode 30 of the Underrated AF podcast. We're already starting to think about season 3, which is going to be January 2025. So
That's pretty hard.
that's it. We're just going to keep the motion going, see where it takes us. But yeah, we're going to be really focusing in one thing at a time,
Season 3.
which is going to really make everything that much more quality, that much more
Punctual.
good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we're going to focus in on certain things. You know what I mean? We got all these
It's gonna
5
really
things to do.
Yeah, it's gonna really.
Let me
liven it
take
up.
care of this first.
Yeah.
Then let me take care of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
If you made it this far, give us a share. Message us if you have questions. If you think about some of this stuff and you want to chit chat about it, send me a message.
Or
Send
if
Zay
you,
a message.
if you need help defeating a boss on Elden Ring, let me know. I got you.
We are very far into this game. He's like, I don't know what level, 500. Probably not that much, but it seems like it.
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, no.
But yes, wherever you are, we can spawn in and help you.
You gonna play right now?
Might die a bunch, but I ain't. All right, y'all. We'll see you for episode 31
31.
of the Underrated AF podcast. Peace.